Lava Studio. It is a new and pretty interesting take on a guitar amp. It's definitely different and innovative in its design, and it's got all the features that you would expect from a smart amp. It's got over 30 amp models inside of it. It's got over 40 effects, but that kind of only begins to describe what this amp can do. Lava Studio is basically an amp modeler, multi-effects unit, a looper, a DAW, a learning platform, and a really nice audio player all rolled into one device. Lava is calling this the world's most advanced desktop amp. So today I want to check out Lava Studio with you, walk you through some of the different features, and ultimately see if this thing delivers on that promise. Just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to my friends at Lava Music for inviting me to check out Lava Studio and for also sponsoring today's video. And listen, like with any sponsored video, I just want to check this amp out with you, show you how I might use something like this here in my studio, and ultimately provide you with the information you need to make your own decision. Now, these different amp models, the cabs, the effects, are what I'm most interested to check out with you today. Personally, these are the features that I'm most interested in. I think a lot of you will be interested in them as well, because I kind of envision using Lava Studio as a little desktop amp that's sort of an extension of the recording and producing workflow that I'm already using. That said, this thing has quite a bit inside of it. I can definitely see different guitar players using this in different ways. So I want to briefly touch on some of the different features that you get with Lava Studio. You get over 300 backing tracks and drum grooves that are great for jamming to and practicing. And if you tap this little icon over here, you can pull up the chord chart so you can play along with the chords. You can solo, jam on top. Lava Studio also lets you record loops, jams, improvs, and you can share those with the Lava Plus community, and other users can add to your recordings. You also get a Mini Daw built right in, and you can start with your own recordings. You can start with one of Lava Studio's grooves. You can record up to 8 tracks, and when you're finished recording, you can export your audio as a mix or as individual stems. Now, there is a built-in stem separator, so if you wanted to import one of your favorite songs, for example, and split that out into different stems, mute the guitar track, for example, and jam along with your favorite song, Lava Studio will let you do that. This feature is a free trial, so you get 10 song isolations, and then after that, it seems like there is a subscription needed in order to use this feature, so just something to be aware of. You can also access Lava's lessons right from the Lava Studio itself, and here you can learn different licks, riffs, styles, genres. Any Kickstarter backers will receive a $150 credit that they can put towards these lessons. The lessons can also be purchased individually or in bundles. Lastly, I just want to touch on the design, which is probably one of the coolest features of Lava Studio. The aluminum housing, the sleek and modern look is definitely on par with something like an Apple product. Obviously, you've got this 13-inch articulating touchscreen up here on the top. The 2.1 speaker on the front provides a great playing experience as well as a great listening experience. You can connect to YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, listen to all your favorite music right on the Lava Studio itself. Oh, and the height adjustable stand is sold separately, but it is a nice touch. It was really well designed, and the Lava Studio sits really securely on top of this stand. So now that we've gone over most of the features, let's go back over to our amps and effects and take a listen to some more of what Lava Studio has to offer. First, I'm going to let you hear some of these amps on their own. So this will be just the guitar and just the amp. Let's take a listen. While we're taking a look at the amps and effects, I thought it would be cool to show you the UI and some of the different settings you can use to customize your experience with Lava Studio. Now first, if you don't like this little clicking sound that happens every time you make a selection, and you also don't like this little reactive light that shows up around the border while you're playing, you can turn both of those settings off. So the reactive light is pretty simple. You can just turn that off right there. And then if you come up here and you go into settings and then into more settings, and then you come down here to advanced, you can turn that system sound effect off. You also have a global equalizer, which is really cool. You can turn spatial sound on and off, which affects the speaker down here. And then you can use this to mix in how much of that spatial sound you want coming through the speaker. And if we go back here into advanced sound settings, you'll see you have control over your instrument input and output gain. And then you have an independent volume control for your media. So you can kind of use these three to mix your audio together. And then your volume knob down here is a master volume. So you can see as I'm turning it, it's not adjusting any of these three faders. So you can kind of set your mix the way that you want it, and then this is just your overall master volume. Your input and output gain are also right here as well. Now, you've seen me using the touchscreen to turn some of these knobs, but you can change this gesture mode if you want. If you come up here into gesture settings, you can take this from rotate mode into slide mode. So now, if you grab a control, you can slide from left to right. You could also slide up and down. This to me feels a little bit more precise and intuitive, but just completely up to your preference. Now, another feature that I found helpful is when you are switching your amps, you'll see that the cab automatically switches as well. But if you wanted to, say, lock in a cab, let's say I wanted to use a Marshall cab, but I want to switch the amp and try some different sounds. You can come up here, you turn auto cab off, and now our cab selection will stay, and we can throw up any different amp we want. Adding effects is also really quick and easy. I also like that you can take effects and you can move them anywhere in the signal chain. So for example, I tend to like my wet effects after the amp, but sometimes a modulation will sound really good going into the amp. So just having that option I think is really, really nice. And lastly, you can save and rename your presets really easily. You can also clone a preset if you want to have a duplicate for whatever reason. Lava Studio does come with a bunch of presets to get you started, but as you can see, starting at base 1 all the way up through here, I've just been having so much fun with this thing. I've been creating so many different presets. So let me give you a quick listen to a couple of my favorites. Now, depending on when you are seeing this video, you may still be able to take advantage of some of those early backer discounts for Lava Studio. If that's something that you're interested in, I will be sure to have all of the up-to-date information in the description below for you. Thanks so much for hanging today, my friends. My name is Patrick. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.